This is about where he stood. Almost about 20 years ago now. I just wanted to go for a little walk and share about the part of the journey that I am at right now. Coming out of feels like a time of being very frozen. And when I think of being frozen, it feels kind of like death. I feel like we go through these periods on our journey where we do have to face the deaths of little parts of us. I think it's part of our awakening. This pathway I started carving last fall while I was visiting my parents and doing some logging and firewood. It's funny how the seasons change so much here. I know in other parts of the world it's different. I grew up with the snow. And to me, it's always been this time of reflection. We're at the cusp of the new season here. The equinox is happening tomorrow, starting. It's the 20th. A little bit of confusion when the actual equinox is on this timeline, because growing up it was on the 21st and now it seems to be on the 20th. Anyways, I started carving this little pathway, and I've carved many pathways in the woods here over the years. One of my favorite things to do is to just come and be with the land and play this infinite game I call picking up sticks, literally beautifying the land. You can't see it so much anymore because, but when a tree falls, cutting it up and filling the pockets, and I have little piles of sticks everywhere through this area. It's always been a meditation. Sometimes I do it barefoot, so I'm really connected to the electromagnetic field of Mother Earth and her consciousness, really. This is going to be my first video in a series of talking about my journey and talking about going from frozen to flourishing. And I'm going to take you along the journey. If you're interested in joining, please subscribe. And if you want to connect also, I'm offering my mentorship and my best services that I can offer with respect to co-creation. Whatever that means for you. Right now I'm helping some people co-create communities, and I really am passionate about community. But I'm also very passionate about co-creation in of itself. And I believe that the inner game is really the most important thing. So as I start to reawaken during a time of feeling frozen and dormant and really being challenged and stretched in almost every way I can imagine, taking on the entrepreneurial journey, I also feel grateful. And that's, to me, is probably the greatest gift that I can offer to people, because to me it's just the core of the laws of existence that connect us all. So what are what are those laws of existence? Well, this video is maybe just a seed of that, because there's so much to share in my own direct experience and some of the knowledge that I gained from walking with a master for over 20 years, a master that whispers to me. But really, this is also about just being courageous and putting myself out there. And there's one other thing I wanted to share while I was walking, and really it's the core of what I wanted to share as I talk about carving pathways and going into the unknown. I also really strongly believe that there are patterns in all of life, and it was from contemplating patterns and contemplating the space in between and around all things that I really came to some really deep, profound insight and also inner realization of the space that allows all things to be. And I have so much to say about space. This might be a ridiculous video to some. I'm thinking about how Joe Dispenza in his meditations says space, and how I know Joe also read Christ's letters and the truth that he revealed to us starting in the year 2000, because he quotes it in Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Well, he paraphrases something that Christ reveals, that in this space all around us, between you and I, in this now moment, we are connected through this space. And although science might try to penetrate it, it still does not, it cannot ever penetrate the nothingness that it is, but it's the fullness that it allows in its potential for infinite expression in between. That's maybe a poetic way of saying it's the foundation of reality. And if you really think of it pragmatically, without space, nothing could grow or live or be. Well, what is space? Well, what the Christ letter says is that space is the mutual restraint of the two parenting impulses of creation, the father and the mother. And someone told me recently, unsolicited advice maybe, that I focus too much on talking about Christ consciousness, and maybe that makes people feel that I'm talking about a right way and puts them in a box. I believe that Christ consciousness is simply our highest potential of expression as our true self, as the soul, and it is without limit. It is without condition. It is infinite mastery and expression, and is rooted in unconditional love. And this has been my contemplation for years. So when I was told that I focus too much on Christ consciousness, and maybe I should be more general in my approach when I talk about world enlightenment and home, heaven on Mother Earth, it really made me pause for a moment. Because to me, my journey with Christ has been so profoundly uplifting. I feel like it would be the biggest disservice I ever could do to not share my direct experiences, my insights, my profound contemplations over the last 12 years of the Christ letters. It was in these